So, Amber, I've gathered us here today to let's just rip some rumors off. Let's rip the band-aids off. Let's expose the rumors and let's just hit them hard. People are so nosy, but I love it. I love people stop me on the street and they'll know so much about my life and I don't realize like how much I put out there, and I'm like, wow. People really, really enjoy this show a lot. I didn't realize it. It's so crazy to me every day. And do you ever get that sometimes where people like are just know so much about your life and you're like, whoa, and like some things they talk about were like so long ago and you're like, whoa, that's so weird.
And people are like, oh, so like, are you still with Matt? Like, I get that question.
Stop.
It's really in public though that I get that question. Like, are you still married? Like, are y'all still together? And I'm like, very clearly no. Like, if you halfway watch the show, you can say it's like a no.
So, first of all, let's bring up Matt, because I know you probably ever get tired of talking about him, but damn, he's just so easy, you know? It's just like, he's just such an asshole. Sorry, he really is. I just have no sympathy for that. Anyways, so did Matt, first of all, let's ask this question. Did Matt ever sign the divorce papers, or was it one of those legal paper, like where you just had to file in it and just legally got approved?
So, I sent the divorce papers to Matt 3 times so I was allowed to file May 20 of 19. So technically my divorce should have been finalized May 20th of 2020. And now we are already in August. But Matt waited and waited and waited. He had the paperwork. We did the Where Are They Now special in February. I still had the paperwork, never got it signed. So I ended up pursuing an absolute divorce. And all Matt had to do, he didn't have to sign anything. He just had to acknowledge that he was getting a divorce, because he gets like 30 days to, if he wants to not complain against it, but if he wants to protest it or contest the divorce, he gets 30 days. And it took him until July 27th to finally acknowledge that we're getting a divorce and that he's not contesting it. So it's finally in the works. I'm officially going to be divorced in September.
Sorry, I'm just like,
yeah. Like, you would think someone who hated me so much would want to get divorced, but he apparently
saying like, what is his deal? Like, and so no, and no. And I want to go ahead and pull the fact up that he is dating not only someone in your building right now, but he's also dating someone in your boyfriend's building too, because you see him with 2 different girls in these places. And sorry, I'm so sorry if I'm exposing your stuff right now, but not yours, Amber, but whoever's seeing Matt, Gwen, or whatever his last name is. But yeah, as of right now, Amber sees him at 2 different locations with 2 different girls, 1 at her apartment and 2 at her boyfriend's apartment. I would have done so many weird things to him. You have no idea. Oh my God.
We can talk about that.
Like the time that we talked about swirling his toothbrush in the toilet. Did you or did you not do that?
Y'all remember he said he didn't brush his teeth, right? Yeah, he didn't have a toothbrush, so I couldn't really swirl around the toilet.
So he didn't own a toothbrush.
I never saw one at the apartment, so it was somewhere else.
If he was ever there, you know what I mean? Sorry. Oh my God. I'm so gagged.
Yeah, girl.
So Matt never.
I know it's too swirl.
Ew. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I really am.
And I had to fake kiss him. Like, at the end of the season when I hated him, I still had to fake kiss him, knowing he don't brush his teeth.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's really gross. Oh my God. I'm sorry. There were just so many times. I'm just so glad we got to word vomit at the end of that show. That was like my favorite thing. I just put that champagne back and I just went for it. I'm like, you know what? Bottoms up, because I'm never going to have to see his face again. And lo and behold, I actually did. But that's the gag, I guess. You know what my thought was on that whole thing and why I really felt it necessary to say something? Because quite frankly, I just felt like I'd seen so many guys, and I'm not just gonna like target Charlotte alone, but I just feel like I've seen so many guys treat girls like this, and I'm so tired of it, and I want us to get a voice with it. Like, you cannot go around doing this to females. It is not cool. And like, I've seen this behavior before. And you know what? For the first time ever, Amber, I was just like, no, I'm not going to let just somebody sit here, and I cannot stomach another male treating a female like this. I'm so tired of it. And like, guys just, I don't know what their deals are and what their mentality goes through like, but man, you don't like somebody, just tell them and stop messing with them. Just leave them alone. Like, why do you have to be like that? Like, what is like humanity lost like the moral responsibility? Like, has we all lost that whole sense of what that means and what it is? Because that type of behavior is just unacceptable. And if I see it again, I will always say something at this point, because there is nothing like taking up for a friend and like calling somebody out, because I'm sure you didn't feel good when that happened. Like, I'm sure you were really in a shell, and like, it probably felt really good to see some people just finally say something.
And it was so empowering to have like you, Deanna, and Iris, like just kind of like, especially that last scene when we all had to be together. No one really wanted to be there. And it was so empowering to have you guys like just standing up for me, because I felt like I was saying the same thing over and over again and he wasn't hearing me. So it was nice having you guys say it, because I think he heard it finally.
Yeah, you can't treat, like, not only just females, but people just can't treat people like that anymore. But unfortunately, I do see this behavior more in males, and I hate to target them out, but it's just so true. I mean, I've been treated like that. You've been treated like that. Like, raise your hand, and I'm sure more hands will be raised than not for dudes just like, I don't even, just taking their pick, like the way they just have. It's okay for a guy to have like 3 or 4 on the side, but if a girl did, we're a hoe. And I'm just tired of this mentality. It's so like, I'm just so over it. It's a double standard. And like, it just, that was just the one thing I couldn't sit by anymore, was just letting somebody like, just, there's not, I couldn't morally do it. There's no way. No, I'm just not.
Especially because you were getting the background like details on his like cheating. Like, remember how many people reached out to you? Because I feel like you know a lot of people in Charlotte. So a lot of people were reaching out to you because they're like
screenshots.
Right. And so we had a lot of evidence that we could have easily pulled against him, but we didn't.
Well, and then my thing was like, even in the cabin, they wanted me to say something to you. And like, that's when my morals really, really started to kick in about this whole situation. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm not going to embarrass someone out of like, just because it's good, juicy drama. I'm like, no, like, we're going to do this tastefully. And when the time is right, you will know it. And that was not the right time.
And I was like begging you, like, not to say anything at the cabin.
Your eyes were like,
he and I still had to like spend the night together in the same room, and it was just like, I was not ready to be awkward, because we still had like 2 weeks left of filming, and I was like, I just don't like have the ability to like, once it's out in the open and I confront him, like, it's done. Like,
well, that was the fun part about being in the cabin, was because we could like, I knew that he was being an asshole at that point, so it was just like me just tactfully baiting him into like talking, and like let him just shoot himself in the foot about, really, Matt, is that how you really feel? That's like really beautiful, really, because I'm pretty sure you were fucking someone else last night. So yeah, that's so beautiful. Okay, but we're gonna remind you here how beautiful your lies are in a couple of episodes, okay?
Talk the talk. Like, no one talks about how he over and over again tried to be like, yeah, Amber and I are doing great. Like, even to Pastor Cal, and Pastor Cal was like, are we talking about the same relationship? Like, no one ever even mentions how Matt like basically said that he and I were great until the last episode when he called me.
That's because he needed he needed a roof over his head for those 8 weeks. Come on now. We all figured it out. And like that god awful singing. Okay, we shouldn't dog him anymore. Sorry.
The singing, that is the last thing I'll say about Matt. The singing was embarrassing, and I was definitely laughing in that scene. People were like pretending like I literally pretended to shed a tear because it was literally so embarrassing.
It was so awful. It did make me cry. I was laughing
laughing and like pretending. Like, I don't know if people could see, but I was doing like this, like trying not to like be obvious.
Girl, I can't with that one. All right, that's the last time I ever bring Matt up when we talk. I promise. I just had a couple of things that I wanted to let people know. Trust me, he had it coming and he got it. So, like, what is the biggest rumor that you hear about yourself?
Fucking Raven, my best friend. Everyone thinks that Raven and I should date. Like I do, I field these comments and questions on a daily basis saying like he's your real husband. He's like the sweetest, kindest guy ever. No, Raven is a kind friend. He would never be a good boyfriend. To me, he would be a good boyfriend to anyone else. But we've
Just not you. Why not? Okay, Amber. Without like getting too deep on us, like, why have you? I'll just ask the $1,000,000 question. Has anything ever happened between you and Raven?
we kissed. We only hug when we have to. Like we're not like very affectionate to each other. Like he is truly a brother to me. Because if you think we've known each other since we were kids, and there's just truly no attraction there, it would be so forced, like on both sides if we had to, like on both sides.
You know what? I totally get that. Like, I have friends, like, one of my friends has two twin brothers, and they're very attractive twin brothers, but to me, they're just like the twins. Come on, man, that's weird. Like, I can't, no, like, weird. So I totally get it when it comes to, like, you just have your boyfriend. Every girl just needs a guy best friend, I think. It's very healthy, like, a big brother to, like, protect you and make sure that no one tries to take advantage of you. And it's just, I feel like it's just hard for people to understand that dynamic sometimes. Like, they automatically feel like if it's not a gay guy, then that girl and that guy definitely just like probably have something going on, but you're just friends.
Right. And like we know a lot about each other, and we know enough to that we don't want to date. Like I think it's like we are very well informed on who we are as people, and like if we wanted it to happen, we would have made it happen. Like neither one of us are that shy. Like we're not like just gonna sit here like twiddling our thumbs like I wish he would like me. It's never been like that, and it never will be.
Oh, girl, I mean, I love that. I mean, so Raven and Amber have never hooked up, and no, and they're just brother and sister. Okay, got it.
And if we wanted it to happen, we're both pretty like forward people. We would have been like, hey, you want to like do this? Never, ever. We've even discussed like why we don't want to do this. Like,
But it's like people don't realize it's like, yeah, like I'm glad you guys see that Raven and I have something. It's called a friendship, and I'm so glad you guys see the chemistry of our friendship. It's okay. Like accept that. So
right.
people stop pushing other things. Guys and girls can be friends. It's okay. But I had so much fun. Like honestly, when I met you, Deanna, and Iris that day, like I had no idea what I was about to walk into the bachelor party or the bachelorette party. I'm like, you know what? At this point, bottoms up, guys. So whenever I met you guys, I just like felt such at ease and like just this best connection like I've ever felt, because it was just like this. I just felt like a group of like just powerful women around me. Like you're a teacher, Iris works with kids, Deanna is a boss bitch, and so it was just like, yeah, these girls are like, I want these humans in my life after this. And I just knew like going in, I'm like, you know what, if all else fails, I met some cool chicks during all this, and a year and some change later, here we are in a group chat as we speak right now. We're talking, and it's like
We've always been loyal to each other. We haven't had any issues. Like we've been very loyal to each other. I'll say that. And
oh
I
my
feel like we're
God.
instant friends. Instant friends.
Instant. I couldn't imagine like, I don't know if this goes on in any other seasons or anything, but I would never like talk illy of my girlfriends on this show ever, because like we have to go through, like it's bad enough that, well, it's not bad, we put ourselves in these situations, but I think it's like ballsy enough that we put ourselves in this situation, and then on top of that we also have the social media hate, and we also have you know, just the judgment and the critiques to be like these perfect females and to handle the stressful situation like with the utmost respect. And at some point, people need to realize, like, walk a mile in these shoes and let me know how you react, okay? Because people can try to prepare you all day long for this experiment. However, there's nothing that can prepare you for what you're about to do.
No, I don't care who you are. No one, you really don't know what you're getting into. You really don't.
And it's, I mean, I love it. Like, it is probably the most priceless experience I've ever done in my whole life. And I'm so proud of it. And I've grown so much from it. But at the same time, like, I still battle certain things daily with it, especially like hateful comments and messages. And you're like, whoa, come on. Like, we don't even know each other. Like, you're basing stuff off of like an intense situation I put myself in front of God and everyone. Like, how you can even go there?
Right. And it's like you see a version of us, you don't see the real us, because how can they show we're complex humans? How can you show our entire personality and like the scope of that in 15 minutes 10 times? Like, you just can't. So they stick to certain aspects of our personality and they stick to that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
They have to have continuity. So you're missing all of like, you don't see my sassiness. You don't see, like, I feel like they don't see the part where you are literally the most giving person in the group. Out of all 8 of us, you are by far, Beth, the most giving of all 8.
Oh, that's like the sweetest thing ever. Oh my God.
They don't see that in the 15 minutes every week, you know?
No, they don't. Like, they don't see how like we're having to like pep each other up behind the scenes. All right, guys, we got this, girl. Head in the game. Head in the game.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just wish that was just. I mean, I get it. It makes for like good show, and don't get me wrong, like they hit the good points, but man, like some of that takes a mental toll on you, and I can't deny that. Like, it's put a mental toll on me, but it's also made me get really thick skin, and it's also made me appreciate like just my inner circle and like the people around me, because they know me and they know that we're good humans, and that's all that matters. Because like, yes, it is all that matters. As long as you're a good human, then anybody says anything wrong to you, you can laugh at, because you know every day that you are a good human. But really quick, before we wrap, because this has been so much fun, and I know we got life, so we got to get going soon. But tell us about your boyfriend really quick, 'cause I just never get tired of hearing about him.
I've actually been dating him for like 6 months now. Like, we're going on 7 months. Isn't that ridiculous? And I never thought I would date again. And when I met him, like, I really didn't give him the time of day, because I was like, oh, I want to be single forever. Like, I do not need to be in a relationship. And then I met him, and he like flipped my world upside down. Like, he just, like, a lot of, like, I just didn't know guys like him existed. One, like, he's so kind and giving, and I feel like we complement each other, because like my flaws, he has strengths that are like opposite of it, and like his flaws, like I feel like my strengths are opposite of it. You know, like we just really complement each other well.
That's awesome. So, how does he handle like just like you're walking down the street and someone stops you and like, "Oh my God, you're from the show." How does he handle that kind of stuff?
And that happens a lot when we're together, but he's literally the sweetest, kindest guy. He is all about putting the spotlight on me. So he just like slides behind me and just like, just points at me, you know, like he just shines his light on me like as much as he can. So like, literally.
Has he ever watched the show?
No. And I asked him not to, because he was going to when he first met me. He's like, I'll watch the show. Like, that's what you like want me to do. And I was like, oh no, please don't. Please don't.
So, like, does he say anything though? Like, do you give him a brief, like a whole plot of what happened, like a whole just briefing?
I never told him directly, but he's figured it out. Like, from like when I post a picture of him and he's like tagged and he sees the comments, like he's figured it out. He does make fun of me sometimes. Like, he'll send me a screen, because he'll go on Netflix and he'll screenshot like a picture of me and Matt. He's like, why are you sitting on some other guy's lap? Like,
oh my God. At least he's good about it. At least he's like good about like the humor, and like he's handling it pretty well. That's awesome.
He's really chill about it. And he's like, he understands like Matt was a loser. And like, I mean, it's just, he's an adult too. Like, he actually acts like his age. He's 34.
He seems like really good for you though. You seem like so happy, and I'm really, really excited for you.
Double date.
Well, eventually, if we're in the same state, finally, girl, you need to come. Y'all need to come here and visit. But that's a whole nother day, a whole nother combo. But really quick, everyone, Amber, you can find her on season 9 of Married at First Sight Charlotte, of course, because I was on that too. And she has an Instagram handle. Amber, what's your Instagram handle?
At A Bowl for Life. So ABOWLFORLIFE.
Awesome. Okay, so guys, follow Amber on Instagram. Give me a follow too. Subscribe here. Watch this. It's so amazing. We love everybody. Thanks for everybody being so cool and like just watching the show and being fans of the show. We really appreciate it. And Amber, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us and just getting some rumors out of the way and telling us a little bit of tea behind the scenes of what really went down. And I'm just so proud of you. You have no idea. And I love you so, so much.
Love you, Beth. Hope you have a great night.
You too, beautiful. And let's chat later, babe.
Now when I do see him, I always flick him off, which I'm not even that bitter anymore, but it's just fun. And I do hawk loogies on his car because he I do that quite a bit. I mean, I don't it doesn't harm his car, but I definitely hawk a loogie when I get a chance.